Today, I am so excited. I am going to be talking to my good friend, Doug Glenn. Doug Glenn is the publisher and owner of Heat Treat Today. And I wanted to talk to Doug because his publication, Heat Treating, it's all about heating of metals, very intricate. But we wanted to talk about why it's important for industrial brands to have their brands out there on multiple channels, but with an authentic voice. But before we get started, my name is Donna Peterson, and you are listening to the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast. I go around the world talking with business leaders about their industry, what's working, what's not working, and what kind of tips they can give us to help us all reach our goals faster. So let's jump in. Hi, Glenn. Hi, Doug. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Donna. Doing well. Thanks. How are you?
I was doing good before I put your last name first, but okay.
Trust me, you talk about being authentic, right? Authentic businesses. Probably 50% of the people that address me call me by my last name. I always tell people, listen, I've got 3 first names. I'm not going to confuse you with my middle name because it would just be another one you can call me. But yes, it is Doug and then Glenn, but you're good.
All right, good. Thank you. Thank you for not, taking that too personal there. So I know that Heat Treat Today is a family-owned business. And as an industrial publication, do you think that's important to make sure people know that you are family-owned compared to other industrial publications?
Well, I think it does make a difference. I've debated in my own mind just how much to make that known, how much to tell people about that, because some people could, depending, they might say, well, you're not a very big organization. We don't want to deal with you. But we've been very blessed. I started this business at like the age of 55, right? And it has been family owned since that time. I actually have children working in the business, that's a different dynamic than just having it be family owned, right? It could just be family owned and me with no children running it or in the business with me. So I do think it makes a difference, though. When you want to communicate to people that you have a vested interest, when you come to them and you say, this business that I'm serving you with, which is what we're about, serving people, helping people. Yeah. When I tell them that and I say, and I own it, they know, well, you know what, Mr. Dougie, you're fully invested here, which is true. And so I do think it makes a difference. I do think it's important to let people know, in a humble way that this is a family-owned business, not because I want to brag about it, hey, I started a business, but we started this business. We are fully vested here and we're fully invested in helping you.
Yeah, I totally get everything you're saying because as you know, we are a family-owned business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it was founded 42 years ago by my mother. So I was the child who came into the company, but it ended up, it was my mother, then my father joined the company, then me. So I had both my parents working within the company when I joined.
Yeah.
But we were at that same crossroads. Do you call yourself family owned? And then people think, oh, you're just a mom and pop. Right. You're not large enough. But I agree with you. I think now, especially family owned, they know this is your livelihood. This is what is supporting probably your family, plus also your children's family.
Some of them, yeah.
And so it's a vested interest. You're going to do everything you can. And it's at a point when people talk to me about what makes our company different, I say we treat our clients like they're part of the family.
Yeah.
We do everything we can to help you out. So I think it's a positive to say that you are a family-owned company at this time.
Right. And I think if you can get over the hurdle of people thinking you're small, then that's a major thing. I mean, I think we punch above our weight over here. When we market, we try to market kind of using the Jeff Bezos approach, which is make it look huge,
Yeah.
make it look huge. And the fact of the matter is, when we first started, that was a bit of a, if I can say it so frankly, it was a bit of a front, it was a bit of a, well, we're not this big, but we're going to make it look big. But now the fact of the matter is our company is big. I mean,
yeah,
we had a Teams meeting the other day with our team and it filled the screen. We had, well, I guess they all filled the screen, right? But there were 12 of us. There were 12 of us in there. And for a size publication that we are, 12 people fully engaged that's not a small team.
No, and that's something to keep in mind. It's one publication that you're concentrating on. You're not this big, large publishing company that maybe has 15 different publications under it. Yeah, you have one that you've really concentrated on, and you're putting all your energy towards this one publication.
All my eggs in that basket. Since we're coming up on Easter, that's okay. Yeah. You can say that.
Okay, good.
I know this will go after Easter, but that's okay.
So now Heat Treat Today's mission. Yeah. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it on some of your emails. I've seen it on websites, different places. And it is, we believe people are happier and make better decisions when they are well informed.
Very good.
How did your team and you come up with that mission? And how do you work towards it every day?
So the way we came up with it, I think at the very beginning, got to give credit where credit is due, right? Some other people told me I need to watch the Simon Sinek video on why, which is great. I think there's a lot of truth to that. People will do business with you because of why you do something, not what you do. Yeah. So although you got to do whatever the what is, you've got to do it well. But so I watched that and I thought to myself, okay, why are we doing this? I always think there's got to be a higher calling to really feel satisfied in your work. You've got to feel, I think most people would agree with this, you've got to have some sort of a higher calling in your work than just to serve you and to pad your wallet. Right.
Right. Yes.
So the fact of the matter is, I am a firm believer, and I think I can prove this even to engineers and finance people, that everybody always buys emotionally all the time. They're going to buy emotionally, and people say, no, that's not possible. I said, well, think about it. The only way you're going to buy from me, or I'm going to buy from anybody else, is if I'm comfortable with you. And comfort is an emotion. Doesn't mean I'll be happy with you, but I'm going to be more comfortable with you than all the alternatives.
Yes.
Not that any of the alternatives would be good, but I'm going to go with the one that brings me the most comfort. And that's an emotional decision. It's not to say we aren't rational, but there's definitely emotion. So basically we want people to be happy. We want people to be able to make good decisions. Yeah. And typically people are only going to make good decisions when they have an adequate amount of information in front of them. So we don't, although we're a media company, we are not in the magazine business. We're not in the website business. We're not in the e-newsletter business. We're not in the podcast business.
Yeah.
We're in the business of getting information to people. We're in the information business. Information exchange is what I tell our team. So that's how we come up with our mission. Basically, we understand that it's ultimately we're dealing with people who want to make good decisions, people who want to be happy, people who want to be making the right decisions. So, what we bring to the table is a platform where they can get good information so they can make the right decisions, so they can be happy.
Yeah. And it's so interesting as you're saying this, all I'm thinking in my head is, oh my goodness, he was ahead of his time when you're thinking about marketing now, because marketing right now, when I talk to clients, you've got to educate. You've got to educate your prospect and give them all the information they need so that they can then make the decision to buy. Yeah. And you're right. If you've given them all the education material that they need, they're going to make a right decision. They're going to be happy they made a purchase. Yeah. And they're just going to build the trust within your brand, which is going to keep them a customer of yours year after year.
Right. Right. Well, that is our goal. That is our goal, is to get good information and let people decide from there. It's interesting too, Donna, in a lot of people would say, okay, well, you're a media brand, which means you present technical and or commercial information in the form of articles and columns and interviews and things like that. And that's where people are getting their good information. Well, the fact of the matter is there's another element there where good information comes from, and that's the advertisements that we sell. Of course, that's our revenue model, but you can't exclude that, the advertisements, as one of the actually more useful methods by which we communicate helpful information to people. So it's not just our editorial product, right? It's also the advertisements and things of that. All of those contribute to helping people be well informed.
And that also helps right now because you're talking about advertisers, and people have to realize your publication is in print and digital.
Yeah.
Which means when someone goes to advertise with you, it's an investment. And you've got to put some weight in that. And if a company is making that investment to advertise with you, that they're serious about what they're doing. They're not just looking for that one transactional order. They want to stay and have you as customers, like I said, year after year. And it just helps give those brands more validity in the space.
Right. Yeah, it sets them aside. Because it is an investment, right? It's not a one and done. Typically, the people they're going to see in the magazine or on the website or in the newsletters or whatever are companies who have made a serious commitment to the industry and to their customers. So, that's true not just with our publication. Obviously, that tends to be true across the board.
But I think
it either means that, or it means they've got a hideously large marketing budget which they can just throw money at. But typically it means they're committed.
Okay, but if you find those companies, you will recommend me, right?
I will. I'll send them straight over. Yeah, absolutely.
Somehow I don't find those people with those large
I haven't either.
Marketing budgets.
I haven't either. It'd be nice, but no.
It would be. So now Heat Treat today, you deliver heat treat information across several different channels. As I mentioned, you've got the digital and you have the print magazine. You have industry-specific newsletters. You have Heat Treat Radio, Heat Treat Daily, Heat Treat Boot Camp, and Heat Treat Shop. Yes. Recently, you launched Heat Treat Classified for equipment and jobs. And I wanted to know, what was your vision to start this?
Yeah. So first off, I'll mention that Heat Treat Classifieds is a classified advertising section. Okay, that's basically what it is, and it does cover actually three categories under there. One is used equipment, and then aftermarket parts and service, and then employment. So there's three there. But before I go into detail on that, I wanted to just let you know you listed a lot of things that we do, and that's not by mistake. Because one of the things we try to encourage amongst our team, which, like I said, includes some family in there, but the large percentage is not family, is that one of the key things that we try to encourage is innovation and creativity. All right. So our goal is to introduce at least one new product every year.
Wow.
At least one new product every year. Yeah, I worked for another publishing company for 20 years, and the team that we had there, it was part of a larger organization. The company had like 60 some publications. Did a calculation after I left that company on how many new things we started, and we actually averaged two. On average, we introduce 2 new products every year. So yes, we don't believe in sitting still, right? There's always something you can do. There's always something better you can do. There's always some way that you can better help serve your customers, your readers, that type of thing. And not everything we do is successful. But if you're not out there trying and failing and also succeeding, then you're not out there, right? So you got to be out there. So yes, so the classifieds we started we actually got it off the ground in March of this year. We're officially launching it in May of this year being 2023. And the idea was to fill a market need. There are a lot of new, and there are many good new equipment builders, and those guys are our bread and butter. I mean, they are our buddies, right? We love those people. But almost all of them also have some sort of used equipment that they could sell, equipment that has previously been sold that maybe they've gotten back or they're trading in or something like that. And there are also used equipment brokers,
Yes,
specific to heat treat market, by the way. There are several of those. So there's a good number of people there who have equipment availabilities. It's really odd because this morning I got an email from a guy who said, I'm looking for a 1,000-pound, he named a brand name, furnace, and I said, well, you should go check out our classifieds because it's there. So it happens. So we're hoping that this classified section will be a useful tool to all of our advertisers and to people who are target readers, who are manufacturers who have their own in-house heat treat. We're hoping that they will find it useful as well. If they need used equipment, they can come take a look and get a hold of the folks that have it.
Yeah. Well, first I have to say, I understand, years ago when you're in publishing doing 2 new things every year, but for a publishing company like Heat Treat today to be offering 1 new thing every year is very impressive. It's very impressive. And so far, I haven't seen any of those fail. So they've all clicked and they're all feeding off of each other, which is such a good testament that your team is really working very hard to get it all done.
Well, first, it's good you're not looking too closely at the things because there have been failures. But the other thing is you kind of hit it on the head, the nail on the head, and that is it is a team. I mean, there's no way. And the ideas for these things come from a variety of people across our team, but the execution of them almost always comes from everybody on the team. So if it wasn't for them and their willingness to entertain new ideas, new and crazy ideas, we wouldn't be able to do it. It's a great culture here. We got such a great group of people that are, willing to do odd things. So that's good.
That's nice. And I think it's great that you're now offering this classified section because, as you know, I do a lot in industrial auction, used equipment space. And it's great to have a resource where you can go and get everything you need. So whether it is what's in the news about heat treat, a special, technology or a piece of equipment that's coming up, but then used equipment, can I sell surplus assets or is there some kind of piece of equipment that I could pick up and get into my facility quickly? And with supply chain issues and manufacturing issues, right now, used equipment is the place to go if you want it in your facility quickly. So I can see why this is going to be another great channel for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. So far, so good. We had a kind of a fun marketing campaign to launch it, Don. I don't know if you've heard about this, but we said in May of this year, we say free classifieds for everyone. That's our campaign, which is not short and catchy, but it certainly grabs the idea. So basically, anybody that wants a classified ad gets one. We're giving everybody that comes and is interested in free classified. So hopefully, I won't be sorry that we offered that.
No, I think they look good, and I love having the images of the different pieces of equipment up on some of the listings because, of course, that catches my eye when I look at the piece of equipment and then understand what they do. So
right. Yeah,
good.
Well, thank you.
Then I have one last question for you, and this is kind of a big one because everyone right now is talking about ESG initiatives, which I get it. They're important, but I'm a big, strong believer that you better walk the talk. You better follow through. And I noticed that Heat Treat today is going to be launching, I believe, green technology for heat treating?
Yeah, it's called Heat Treat Green.
The newsletter.
Yes, quarterly newsletter called Heat Treat Green.
So now, why did you think that was important to bring to the market?
Well, for a variety of different reasons, maybe not reasons that are typical, but for a variety of different reasons. First off, everybody's talking about sustainability, right? It seems like everybody's talking about it. Everybody, as you mentioned, ESG, and I think I wrote a publisher's page about ESG. As far as I'm concerned, and I don't want to get too political on all this, but as far as I'm concerned, there's only one of those letters that really is a legitimate concern, I think, at this point. Not to say that the other two aren't important in their own right, but as far as the industrial setting, really the environmental concerns are very important, right? They are very important.
Yeah.
And we are not either make enemies or make friends with this statement. We're not greenie weenies. We're not tree huggers, right? We honestly believe there is that mankind has a responsibility to exercise dominion, if you will, right? To subdue the earth, as it says in the good book, right? In the scriptures. I mean, we do believe that. So we're very much in favor of being environmentally responsible. That's a critical part. So that has driven us. And one of the things we're hoping to do with our Heat Treat Green is show that there can be that corporations can be environmentally responsible without compulsion of governments and mandates and things of that sort, that there are technologies out there that are just good, solid technologies that are commercially viable, green technologies, if you will, sustainable technologies. That's really what we're hoping to show, because we think those are important. Those are important technologies, and it's certainly sustainability is all the rage these days, and there's good reason for it. So our motivation might be a little bit different than some companies. We're not necessarily in it for a money grab, if you will, but we do know that it's important. We do know that environmental responsibility is an important thing. And we know there are a lot of our customers who do want to make their technologies known to our audience. So this will be one way that we can help them get their message out.
See, this just brings back that whole authentic voice on why you're starting this. You're not starting this newsletter just to check off that box of having an ESG initiative. You're starting this newsletter because, it's in here, it's in your heart.
Yeah.
And if that permeates across your whole entire team, I can see the content being of such high quality that it's going to succeed and people are going to read it.
Yeah. We have a lot of young people on our team, and a lot of them are also very concerned. I shouldn't probably draw an age distinction, because the older people like myself on our team are also just as concerned with it.
Right.
But it's a politically hot topic, especially if you talk ESG, because you're including societal and governance, which are very, very, in my mind, and again, you want to see authentic, here we go, right? Yeah. Very, very debatable issues, especially the way they're manifested in a lot of corporations. And I think the reasons for why they are manifested in a lot of corporations are just, I think, more damaging than they are good.
Yes.
But the environmental side, I think people need to know it's possible to be a green person without being a greenie weenie, a person that understands that taking care of the earth is a very good thing. Yeah. And, hopefully in our little way, we'll be able to advance that cause.
Well, especially if you're doing it to really help the environment. You're not just getting on this bandwagon to sell something else, to make some money off of it. There's a lot of companies out there right now where they're just doing this because they think they'll get more money, or they're creating a new publication, or they're a new piece of equipment just to check off that box of ESG.
Right.
But they don't really care.
Right. Yeah. I can't say that we're not hoping to make some money off of it, but it isn't inauthentic. No, I know.
Well, you're not a non-for-profit.
No, that's true. Yeah, we are a for-profit business, at least hopefully. So, but yeah, you're right. I do think there is a question of motivation here, and I think that hopefully our team is doing it not just because we think it could be helpful to our audience and therefore profitable to us, but we think it's the right thing to do. So.
Well, Doug, I have to say, obviously, from our conversation, it is important for an industrial brand to be on multiple channels and with that authentic voice. How we've heard about your publication with the family owned and how you feel about the green issue. That is definitely an authentic voice. And I thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Oh, thanks, Donna. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yes, it is. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss our next episode. And in the meantime, if you'd like to talk to me, please feel free to send me an email to dpeterson@worldinnovators.com. Till next time, have a great day.